Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. And today I wanted to go over some updates with 4.3. CIG has recently pushed the patch to aUEC, and they've updated what this patch is going to have in the patch notes. So I want to go over the aUEC patch notes with you guys and some other visual updates that CIG has added, some armors, and we have some images of what the snow looks like. So let's get right into this video. Okay, so the audience is aUEC, but their goal is to open to other waves this weekend, tonight or Saturday. So this might be wave 1 PTU by the time you guys are seeing this video. So the testing feedback focus is going to be scalability, bug fixes, the aUEC facilities. These are the new underground facilities in this patch. Mission distribution updates, hangar spawning, dynamic snow, ladder improvements, and the vault laser sniper zenith. Not ready for testing is additional Wicklow ships and additional player hairstyles, which is kind of surprising. At this point, you know, CIG should just be able to add them, but it is what it is. Now, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this patch, the features and gameplay. aUEC facilities. The aUEC facilities house a new investigation mission system set in approximately 100 newly added abandoned resource locations spread throughout Stanton. While ASD has abandoned these facilities, players and mercenary NPCs alike will be exploring these derelict Associated Sciences and Development, ASD for short, installations to recover data, solve puzzles, and uncover the mysteries within these hazardous environments. With the release of Alpha 4.3, the first two wings will be available, with the third concluding chapter to this part of the regen crisis arriving following month in Alpha 4.3.1. So what they're basically saying here is that they have added 100 new underground locations to Stanton. Now, I believe these will be on the moons in Stanton. But these are essentially not the distribution centers. I kind of said that in my last update video. I do not think these will be distribution centers. These are brand new locations, more than likely using parts from the ASD, kind of design language, those kinds of kits. I honestly don't entirely know what these locations are going to look like, but that's going to be interesting for the player base to be able to explore. Again, over 100 locations, or approximately 100 locations. That is a lot of content. Now, unfortunately, these were supposed to be the cooperative zones, a kind of PvE area where players would go down and I'm assuming, solve puzzles and do different things like that. They have basically stated that they're not ready to have those cooperative zones added to 4.3. So these will be mission locations. Again, mercenary NPCs will be here and potentially players. So these were going to be PvE locations, and now it seems like these are going to be mission and PvP locations. I'm not entirely sure what the reasoning behind that is, but maybe CIG decided that it would be more content for the community or something like that. I want to know what you guys' thoughts on that is in comments down below, but essentially these are going to be mission locations. Initial facility access. Okay, Arkin Malor, a new mission giver from the Harco agency, tasks you with venturing into these abandoned ASD aUEC facilities, recover whatever research data still exists, and uncovering the true extent of ASD's experiments into the regen crisis. So a little bit of lore and backstory about the mission there. Delving into the deep facility. Upon completion of the phase 1 missions, 4 new mission tracks within the facility become available throughout the 2 open wings of the aUEC facilities. These must be first completed in succession before becoming repeatable in any order. So there's a kind of a new structure to this mission as well. Receive energy anomaly data, receive security data, receive seismic data, receive power usage data. It's more likely you will have to go down there and kind of just like hacking, transfer the data on some kind of crypto key. I'm not entirely sure, but there might be some kind of box or something that you have to retrieve. Not entirely sure what this gameplay looks like. I'm very fascinated by this so far. These new mission tracks will take you through 2 open wings of the aUEC facility. And again, it basically said that there's a third that will conclude chapter of the regen crisis arriving in 4.3.1. So more than likely, what is happening here is that in 4.3, we're going to get these 100 approximate underground facilities, these aUEC facilities, and then in 4.3.1, an extra wing of these locations will open up, and that will continue the event of the regen crisis. So this aspect of these aUEC facilities is not part of a wider event, but there is a reward with completing this content, as we'll take a look at and talk about a little bit later in the video. Discover multiple data collection points containing valuable research data and audio logs that reveal the mysterious circumstances behind the facility's abandonment. Okay, that's the research labs. Engineering. Navigate hazardous power systems and radiation zones while demonstrating careful environmental awareness and planning. Again, kind of vague, not entirely sure what that is. Mission distribution tech updates. Mission distribution tech updates in 4.3 include an updated way of directing players around locations for missions that are unlimited, such as hauling, Wicklow, and the new aUEC locations. The system should greatly improve locations. Okay, so this is some tech they're working on the back end. Then we have the Vault laser sniper rifle. You can see the damage numbers and stuff like that. Players can test out the Zenith rifle inside single weapon elimination to more easily offer feedback. So you guys can check that out in Arena Commander. And the Vault shotgun, they fixed some things, additional weapon items updates, ammo type stuff. Then we have dynamic snow, introducing dynamic snow to select locations where snow already exists, leveraging the same environmental systems that power dynamic rain. This means snowfall will now appear based on weather conditions. Currently, snow is enabled on Stanton 4. Okay, so this is Microtech. Then we have ladder improvements. We kind of talked about this. It gives you the ability to look around while on the ladder. Midpoint enter exits, so you can kind of jump off the ladder there, I believe. Being able to jump off ladders, yeah. Leaning, collisions, so if there's another player above you, you can't go through the player. FPS camo required for seeing ladder exits into crouch for small spaces. So basically there are some ladders that kind of go to little basement or crawl spaces underneath settlement buildings in Pyro. So some of those things you'll exit the ladder in crouched. Then we have a bunch of bug fixes. Now we can go over and take a look at what some of these things look like, and kind of talk about them, because we have some more stuff to go over. Okay, so first up we have the new hairstyles. Basically, CIG said that these are not ready for testing yet, and they were basically just talking about making more kind of normal hairstyles that more people might want to actually use in the game. And again, these are pretty normal hairstyles, and so if you're looking for anything like this, you have that option there. They look pretty good in my opinion, so that should be good. But again, this is not ready for testing right now, so probably it'll be made available a little bit later. Then we have dynamic snow. And so you guys can see the difference between the new dynamic snow and the old snow. This snow, you can actually see the snowflakes, and they'll be using the same technology as the rain. So it will follow the clouds. So as clouds kind of form around it, you can see kind of like a snow cloud system here. Then you'll actually be in the snow, kind of fall. Um, I think that would be pretty cool to being able to see the little snowflakes in the air around us. Um, and so far, the performance with the rain is pretty good. So that was one thing I was worried about with the rain, if it would make the performance of the game worse. But the performance seems pretty good. So the performance of the snow should be the same. All right. So then we have a new armor set. For the ASD Onyx underground facility missions. So basically, as you can see here, it has the ASD writing there, the ASD logo on the arm. Now, we took a look at the Geist armor in the last update video that I made, and it had basically the same helmet here with the lights on the bottom and this kind of like flat visor area. But this is like, I guess, kind of an iteration on the Geist armor, where it has this kind of like tech camo cape and hood. So I'm not sure if this is directly the Geist armor. It's, more likely a variant of that Geist armor that is like ASD branded. Comes with a backpack here, and this will essentially be a reward for those Onyx missions. Again, CIG isn't explicitly saying that these missions are an event per se. Um, they're kind of like painting it out as a sandbox activity. So we'll see. Maybe this is kind of like a new thing that they're doing, is adding rewards for missions, not just rewards for events. Now, I'm not entirely sure if this is going to be a account bound thing like the event rewards, or if it's just going to be like the ICT, where you go and you do the mission and you can get this armor there. Again, I'm not sure if this is being granted to your hangar for completing the missions like the events, or if this is just something that you can find at the location, like you can loot it. Because CIG, I think they're kind of experimenting that, where you kind of go and you do kind of quote unquote raid, or you go into this underground facility and you clear different sections of it until you get to the main point of kind of the mission, and you get this armor set as a reward or something like that. So I don't know, but it is a pretty interesting looking armor set. It definitely looks better than the previous images that we've seen of the Geist armor. And again, I'm not entirely sure that they might be calling this something different from that, but the helmet does look pretty similar with the lights on the bottom there. So not sure, but it looks cool. I definitely think it looks better than the other sneak peek image that we saw. And there's another variant of this that we'll take a look at now. All right, so then this is the white one. This variant is the Wicklow one. So the last one that we saw was a reward for going to the ASD Onyx underground facilities. Once you clear that content, complete that mission, you get that armor set. If you want this armor set here that you're seeing in front of you, you will have to turn in a recipe to Wicklow and you'll be able to get this. So again, this set here is exclusive to Wicklow, and it's kind of like a snow camo type thing. So I think it looks pretty cool. Again, the kind of tech camo winter stuff looks pretty good, and the hood looks pretty cool. I'm not sure about the helmet. I do think the other one looks a little bit better, the all white. Not entirely sure, but it's not bad looking. Again, I like the torso, the arms, the leg armor, all that stuff looks pretty good. Just not 100% sold on the helmet. I might wear a different helmet with this set. But again, that's one of those things where if you do that, then the hood aspect might not come with it. So kind of, just like the Armortex armor, where if you don't wear the helmet and the torso together, the hood doesn't work. So to have this cape here, you might have to wear the helmet and the armor set. Again, not entirely sure. But if it is like the Armortex armor, that might be the case. Just kind of something to keep in mind there. But again, cool armor. Okay, so yeah, it says that with the third and concluding chapter to this part of the regen crisis arriving in the following month, Alpha 4.3.1. So not this month, next month more likely we'll get 4.3 or that around that timeline. We'll get 4.3.1 and the event will continue. So more than likely, or fingers crossed, hopefully, CIG does decide to extend the Second Life Resource Drive event. Again, all of this content is a part of the greater regen crisis kind of story arc that CIG is trying to do this year. And I do think that's pretty good. I think it's interesting. It's a good storyline. The lore team does a pretty good job adding in this different type of content to the game. And if it's any indicator of what 1.0 is going to be like and CIG's intentions for the future of the game, I do think it is pretty interesting, right? It allows players to have that kind of sandbox feel if they want to do something else. But if they don't have a goal in the game, they can do the content that CIG kind of laid out for them. So, I think right now a lot of the content is kind of suffering from bugs in performance. Uh, but obviously, once they kind of hammer those things out, figure that stuff out, it'll be a lot more entertaining for players. But the reality is, a lot of this content is time limited, so it's gonna, inevitably cause a lot of people to play right now because when 1.0 comes out, this whole regen crisis storyline, this story arc, that'll be gone and over with. And if you want to experience it, the only way to do that is to play right now. So I don't know, it's kind of an interesting situation, but CIG wants to add in more content for the people who are playing now in alpha. It's just one of those things that you have to keep in mind if you're waiting for this game, if you're waiting for 1.0. There's a lot of rewards, a lot of stuff that you'll be missing out on by not playing the alpha, and there'll be, basically millions of people that are going to be geared up and ready to go when 1.0 goes live. And of course, there are people who have, have different opinions and feelings about that. I don't really see it as a major issue, but I totally understand if anybody doesn't like that or thinks CIG should wait before they do more big kind of content drops like they are this year. It is a good thing, and you can see by the amount of people who are playing and by the amount of money that CIG is making. So more than likely they will continue with this kind of concept. And I think it really kind of stems to this idea of CIG getting ready for Squadron 42, right? So this year was supposed to be the year of stability, so they could get the game in a better state. So when Squadron 42 does go on sale, people could play that and they could go, hey, Cloud Imperium has this other game that's available. I want more of this Star Citizen universe. I'm going to play the Persistent universe now. And the game needs to be in a better state for them to be able to kind of convert all of those customers into kind of more long-term customers with the Persistent universe. So I don't know what things are going to look like afterwards. Obviously, engineering is one of those things a lot of people are looking forward to, and that's kind of one of the main hurdles of this year. And of course, you're also probably going to want to get crafting and base building in as well. So we'll see. I think there's a lot of stuff going on. CIG has a lot on their plate. I hope they're not stretched too thin, trying to get all of this stuff out. They are making the money though, so that's good to see. But again, I want to know what you guys think about all this in the comments down below. I love hearing from you guys. You guys have been supporting the videos and the channel, and it really means a lot to me. I really like all the feedback you guys have been giving about this stuff. You guys are not afraid to, you know, really tell it like it is. And, you know, I think that's perfectly fair. You know, this patch has been somewhat tumultuous, to say the least, with, you know, some decisions that CIG has made with the cargo elevators and whatnot. And, you know, some people have been having great experience with it, and some people really haven't. And so you really got to speak towards the experience that you're having, so you could give CIG the best feedback. But with all that said, like I always say at the end of these videos, you guys like the video if you liked it, subscribe if you want to see more, and I will see you guys in the next one. Salute.